Morning, folks. Today we are talking 100 things that TC could take a look at. Maybe 100 things the game got wrong, 100 things that could have been tweaked, 100 things that could have maybe saved the game. This list is inspired by the fact that there's been a pro sort of folder going around with tweaks and changes that could save the game. What I did was I went on TikTok, I went on YouTube, I went on Twitch, I asked my own community, I watched lots of people's videos, whether they had 10 viewers or 1,000 or 10,000, giving feedback on the game, and I collected a list of 100 things. Now, before we get into it, it's going to be a bit long. I'm going to try expand but be brief, if that makes sense. And also, I want you to know that, obviously, I enjoy the game. I like the game. It's a game from my childhood. That doesn't mean I agree with everything in the list. It doesn't mean I'm some crazy guy that's playing a game he despises and is just trying to hate the game for views. No, these are legitimately 100 things that throughout playing the game I've thought of or other people have thought of. So with no sort of further ado, let's just get into the list. Let's begin, and they're in no particular order. I would love you to write down maybe things that I've missed, maybe things that I've got wrong, things that I've overlooked, or just see which one you agree with the most. Maybe leave the number with the one that resonates with you the most. Now, again, most people that play the game would probably agree that when you look at something like this almost looks like a remaster. Wow, look how dark and gritty the game is. Look at this rain inside. There's no rain on Reloaded. Yes. Gears Reloaded does not look visually anywhere near a remaster. It is a UE remake. It is not the original being polished up, improved, etc. Now, let's get into the list because I don't want to waste your time. Number 1. Again, in no particular order. This is a real list. Number 1, ranked players in competitive. Ranked 1 players, I should say, in competitive. If you go and play Gears 5, if you go and play other video games, you can't be a rank 1 brand new player and just hop into the competitive playlist. It just makes total sense to say, hey, you should rank up before you try the competitive playlist. Number 2, guests in competitive playlists. I've seen rank 1 players with rank 1 guests in a competitive player setting. Number 3, people getting put on the wrong server. We might have seen Kate sit there and tell us that we've got more data servers than ever, and more data centers and lower latency for skills-based matchmaking. But the reality is we're getting put on the wrong server. Number 4, there is no option to choose or wait for the server. So if, like in Gears 5, I could choose faster matchmaking, or I could choose better ping, or in previous games you could literally select your server. You can't do that in the quote definitive version. You may ask, why am I being harsh and critical? Well, number 1, I think if you're putting your own game on sale after a month, something's gone wrong. And number 2, they sold this product as, hey, you don't need to buy all of the other versions of Gears. This is the definitive one. So, you know, I'm not even including things like this doesn't have the map editor from Gears 1. I'm not even including things like that. Number 5, incorrect maps in competitive. I don't really think Fuel Depot's been played competitively for quite some time, and it's just not a fun experience. Control that down. Again, not all of these are going to be balanced, by the way. A lot of these are going to be things for the casual player, unlike the pro list. Number 6, we have a Warzone social, but no execution social. So the only way to play execution is to be forced to play competitive. Yet we have, number 7, 2 2v2 shotgun playlists. I don't think there are that many players in Gears Reloaded that we need 2 2v2 shotgun playlists. Number 8, 0 tutorials for new players. When I went and tried Gears 5 last night, you're put into a pretty long, irritating bootcamp mode that kind of explains the basics just a little bit. If I went and played Skate like I did recently, you know, the new skating game on Steam that's free to play, I was put in quite a laborious, awkward tutorial, even though I just wanted to roam around and do Skate, and I was playing on my own. I wasn't affecting anybody else, so if I went into Skate and sucked, it wouldn't have mattered, but they still put me through that tutorial. There is no tutorial in this game. Again, number 9, for any of the multiplayer modes, there's just simply no level requirement. It's not even like there's a playlist where you have to play bots for the first 10 levels, get, up to level 10, 15, because some people will never get a kill and they might actually be stuck in that mode for quite some time. I think people forget how difficult this franchise is, and there's just no level requirement at all, not just for competitive. Number 10, you can't select your preferred character like you could in the original in 2006. That means when you load into games, you just get the wrong character, wrong skin. Number 11, there's no cog or locus preferred customization. Seems small, it was in Gears 4. Again, we're playing the definitive version. These are all little things. All the little things add up, TC. All the little things add up to making a product feel cared for and well made. And you want to choose your cog, you've got to go and find your skin and your character, and then if it swaps to locust, you've got to go and find your preferred locust skin every single time. And just the ability just to have a preferred locust and cog setup would help. Number 12, there's literally no communication. I mean, we could bundle this down to a whole myriad of things. This could be 10 separate points, but I'm going to put it as one bullet point. Number 12, there's just no communication from TC. We don't know if the devs know that EU players on PC have no servers. We don't know if they're happy with even American people getting put on my servers, which are totally wrong. There's just no communication, full stop. Total radio silence, which carried on from Gears 5. Sometimes, number 13, we get patches with no patch notes. I play video games. Every time you get a patch, you get patch notes. I think we had for 2 or 3 days a patch with no patch notes, and then recently we had one, and it's still got no patch notes. It was only a tiny update, but even games like Path of Exile will say, hey, this was just a bug fix, hey, this was just a so-and-so fix, a security fix, whatever. Just patches with no patch notes again. Number 14, no re-up rewards. So those that actually do enjoy the game and play the game a lot, there's no reward for actually leveling up. 15, you get a literal square. The actual icons that you get in the game don't desire you to re-up. I've just left my guy at rank 100. Don't want some square with a triangle inside it. Don't care because there's no re-up reward. So yeah, 0 icons, nothing. Number 16, again, the reason I'm nitpicking on these things is because these could just be basic changes that make a product feel cared for and desired, and you can still stick to the original. There's 0 changes to assassination, which was never played in the original. Fair enough if you want to keep it that when the leader dies, the game's over, but there are no respawns. It could just be assassination with respawns. You could change it to Guardian, but this game mode was barely played in the original, and you've just put a game mode in there with a full playlist that most people won't play more than a handful of times and it will die. One shot, one kill, number 17. Except it's not one shot, one kill, because you can melee, active, and body them, and curb stomp them, and beat them down. And this wasn't a thing in Gears 5, so we solved this, and then we made the problem again. Number 18, King of the Hill was the most played game mode for Gears 4, 5, and then you went ahead and put it in social. Number 19, you can stack up in ranked. Most games will not allow you to stack in ranked, especially playing solo players. Number 20, when you aim your shotgun, players just teleport. Players teleport all the time. Even in laggy Gears of War 1 in 2006, you could see your lag, you could lead your shots. In this, it's like that pseudo fake lag, that lag compensation, and then players just teleport. Number 21, one-shot downs used to happen a little bit in Gears 1. We then had a patch. We then sort of had it in the beta that there wasn't really any one-shot downs. Then we had loads of one-shot downs. Now they're still happening, and they're pretty consistently happening. It's not a case of 99 times out of 100 you're having a good shotgun fight and you win, and that one time the guy gets a one-shot down and that allows him to clutch. No, you're getting one-shot down quite a lot in this game, far more than the original, which again is tweaking balance. That's fair enough, you can tweak balance, but does anybody want that? Number 22, there was really no skill-based matchmaking at the start of the game, so PlayStation players got put up against sweats and got absolutely thumped and quit and never want to return. And now that there's no players, it's really hard to implement SBMM because, well, it's hard to make a skill-based matchmaking when there's no players. So they fucked up, they missed the mark. It should have been really, really tough skill-based matchmaking at the beginning to help PlayStation players get their foot in the door. Or you could say, number 23, if you want to say, you could have made it that PlayStation players and low-level players could only play each other for the beginning. You know, you could have separated them, and then after a month allowed PlayStation players to maybe play against Xbox and PC. Just kept them separate a little bit to let them get their feet in the door, because again, whether you like it or not, most of us Xbox players have played this game forever. This was to try get new players into the game, PlayStation players into the game, and they really did nothing to help them. No wonder it died. 23, the ability to stay together in a competitive or social match. Even if the skill-based matchmaking and the team balance was good, which it's not, the ability to stay together really does break it, because all of a sudden, if you're in ranked and you find yourself on a good team, you can just stay on it and create like a pseudo stack. The teams never rejig. 24, there's no team balance. You can't chop and change. You can't move from team to team. If I load in a King of the Hill on COG, social, I am on COG, King of the Hill all evening. I can't swap teams. I can't move about. We can't rejig the teams. Maybe we've got a good lobby, but it just needs a bit of rejigging. We can't do any of that. Number 25, the pro player said there's a load of alternate control bugs. You could fix them. Number 26, firing your pistol bugs means that the next ammo will be used from the next weapon. And again, number 27, the smoke duration bug, where half the time the smoke grenade lasts for half the duration. Number 28, there is no LAN, so you couldn't even do tournaments or a lot of features that obviously LAN would need. LAN, sorry. So 28, definitive version of the game, come and get it, but there's no LAN. Number 28, the split screen issues from PC and co-op, that it's just not there and it was falsely advertised. Number 30, just the lack of features and originality from the menu, the music. You know, this isn't a remaster of the original. This is, if I was to say it, TC's ego of, we're not going to take any inspiration from the original. We're going to remake Ultimate Edition and then remake it. And yeah, just lacks a lot of features and charm from the original. Number 31, you're trying to sell this game to PlayStation players. This is the console that is quite known for its graphics. You know, PlayStation has a lot of visually strong games, and you're saying come and play Gears of War. It's this visually strong, gory game, and there's just a lack of gore. There's a lack of basic features such as rain. You know, there's just no rain in any of the maps. There's no wind noises. There's just, yeah. Number 32, there's no lobby browser. Just casually throw that one in there. One of the main features that kept Gears of War alive, basically forever. It was the reason it was kept alive, because you could play a game with 2 players, and then it would slowly fill up because you had a lobby browser, or you could make a game mode and you could self-moderate it. Hey, I don't want anybody to Lancer, but we can use the other weapons. Oh, that guy's lancering a lot. I'll warn him, then I'll kick him. Or I'll play 19 rounds, etc. I want to play 15 rounds of Mansion. You can't do any of that with a lobby browser. Without one. Number 33, you're unable to see other players' stats, such as like KD, win-loss, their MMR, anything. Number 34, there are no weekly leaderboards to grind for. Number 35, leaderboards only show score, making them really completely meaningless. 36, there's a total lack of leave penalties across the board, so people just quit and ruin the experience. Number 37, here's a massive one. Literally no bots to practice. You've given a brand new console audience, the PlayStation players, and even returning players, you know, you've sold them the dream. This is Gears, this is the nostalgia. Come back. They might want to do some practice before they get thrown in, and there's no way to practice. There's no bots, no nothing, no training mode, no target dummies. And obviously that includes no bot backfill. Number 39, and again, some of these were taken from my own community. You know, I've had, at this point, probably like 100,000 comments or something since coming back to Gears of War. I think I looked at my page. I've had an incredible amount of comments. Number 39, implement some challenges and medals like Gears 3. Now, what you're going to say is this is too much. They couldn't have done all of this. Yes, but they could have done some things. They could have done anything to make the game feel a bit more cared for and, to give the PlayStation players the experience they want. Is this a case of TC holding back features so Gears E-Day looks packed with features and they can sell it? Who knows? Maybe they wanted to make just a simple product to push out there, and they didn't want a really, really fantastic product because that would take players away from E-Day. If this was the definitive version of Gears of War 1, I'd probably just carry on playing this. But it's not, so it makes you want to move on to the next product. Companies these days don't want to fix games because fixing a game doesn't get you any more money unless it's like a free-to-play game with a shop and you can get players back into the game, and get them into the shop. But even if you brought all the players back that this game originally had, you would make no money because there's no revenue. So you could even put one in there as another point that there's no shop. Anyway, so yeah, you could implement some challenges like the medal system. Number 40, a basic fun game mode where people are just shooting each other. Raven 24/7 has been a highly requested mode, and I've actually been in a lobby in the game where these Americans were trying to get me to join a Discord because they'd created a 24/7 private match Raven down that you could just request to join. But nobody wants to join a Discord to then have to message somebody to get a message for a private match. It's, it's just finicky, isn't it? 41, silent grenades still in the game since 2006. Didn't matter too much back then because the grenades couldn't blow you up as much, but now that their grenades are pretty powerful, silent grenades are just annoying. You might think all of these things are just minuscule and don't matter, but they add up and they add up and they add up, and people think, I'm going to go play Battlefield, I'm going to go play COD, I'm going to not buy E-Day because this was clunky. Number 42, I've seen countless times a grenade stick to my foot. They've totally missed. I've ran off, gone round the corner, it's still stuck to my foot and I've died. Number 43, a 1,565 pound General Ram carrying a full arsenal of boom shots, snipers, grenades can run up behind me and I hear absolutely nothing. Number 44, scuffed dead zones. You need a controller app plugged into a PC to fix your dead zones. I don't care about this. People do. Having scuffed dead zones on a controller means the game feels bad, and it's something that people have come to expect. Number 45, a better anti-cheat, or any anti-cheat. I've reported people and faced cheats, and they're still playing the game. Number 46, I've had lots of comments that there is a bug and crash where players just can't play the game. They can't launch the game, it just constantly crashes. And yeah. Number 47, you're unable to see the ping in your game. What server am I on? What ping am I on? Everyone, whether you're the highest level player or the absolute casual, nobody likes to lag. Being able to see your ping is useful, even if you think to yourself, oh, someone's on the internet downstairs, has my ping gone up? Am I lagging? Is it me? Is it everyone else? What's going on? Not being able to see your ping is crazy. Number 48, there's no shop. Here we go. Or, people might moan, oh, what do you mean there's no shop? That's silly. Well, there's no incentive for higher-ups to fix things or get players in because they've already got your money. And whether you like it or not, we have to accept that games are businesses and money needs to come in for people to be bothered. And you could make things in the shop that aren't egregious, like sniper gun charms and all of these things that fit in the universe. I'm not talking bright coloured nonsense, stuff that fits in the universe. If you're General Ram, you could have the head of Kim on your Lancer, something like that, right? There's nothing. There's millions of ideas I could come up with, but, Number 49, a massive text box on screen. You type and type and type, and I've been in games where people have been on voice literally saying, can you stop typing? I can't see my game. We're in 2025, nearly 2026, and I'm hearing things in my headset that players cannot see the game they're playing because a member is typing to them. Number 50, the text in that text box lasts 500 seconds. It lasts forever. It's just stuck there. What's the solution? Number 51, you can't turn off the text box. You can't like mute people or just get rid of the text box. What game doesn't allow you to get rid of chat? Maybe it's distracting to you. Maybe you want to focus in on the game and not see the chat box. You don't want to see the enemy chat, or you don't want to see your chat. You know, people are, quote, toxic in all chat on social. You can't turn it off. You have to listen and read it. Ridiculous. Number 52, you can't change any of the settings in game. Like if you're being shot, the menu closes. Like it's just very difficult to, if you're sat in the lobby. Like I remember I was streaming and I'd left on push to talk. I turned off push to talk because I wanted to chat to my friend in game. And I wanted to talk to my stream. But I didn't want to chat to my stream whilst in the lobby and just sound like an absolute douchebag. So I just had to basically stay silent until about 6 minutes later, where the game finally started and I could go into the menus and turn on push to talk. So just not being able to change any settings is just weird, because that just means when the game finally starts, you're like, all right, now I'll change my graphics, now I'll change my FPS, now I'll change my resolution, which means you're not playing the game. You have to wait for the game to start to change settings, which affects the actual multiplayer. Anyway, number 53, this microphone's getting cold to hold. Smash a like on the video, by the way, if you want to, for this a real list by a real player. 53, you can't do any actions, like push to talk or change anything. So you're just made to sit there. You know, like I say, it's kind of tied to the menu system. Number 54, there's no forced crossplay. Now, you're going to say to me, that's great. I don't want to play against PC. But hear this out. If this is the definitive version, and if TC don't like forced crossplay, aka for balance or for your opinion, then why was it forced in Gears 5? Because in Gears 5, you have to play PC players, whether you like that or not. So there's a contradiction there. Like, what's your thoughts on the crossplay, TC? Because in the game that you made, you're like, go play it. And in this one, it's like, no, it's crossplay, but kind of not crossplay. Number 55, again, from any social media or anything, there's no hype. You know, Nick Merckx played the game. They could have hyped some of his videos. Probably didn't, because of his political views. So they didn't want to communicate with him or anybody, quote, dodgy. But from any form of social media, there's just nothing really, is there? 56, let's be real. The Cronus Zen is still an issue. This is not specifically tied to Gears Reloaded, but there is spotting scripts, automatic pistols, aim assist, and, you know, it's still a big cheat. You might not think it happens, but lots and lots of controller players use a Cronus. 57, there are players who are still rank 1 who play hundreds of competitive games sitting in spawn. Maybe you know who I'm on about. And they're still able to play the game. Now, I have no sort of hatred or annoyance at how people want to play the game. But when it comes to competitive and it ruining people's games and it makes people quit, honestly, on my stream, I've seen hundreds of lobbies disband and just break because people join and kind of intentionally ruin the game, and there's just no way to deal with them. 58, there are people that don't get kicked in ranked even when they've been stood still forever, but you do get kicked in the casual mode when you've been stood still for less time. So you get replaced in social, where it's casual and people don't really need you because it's the casual mode, but in ranked, when you get kicked, you don't get replaced. Doesn't really make much sense. Number 59, rather than having two 2v2 playlists, we could have scrapped them both and chucked in some basic wingman. People will say that's a lot of work. They'd have to fix the spawn system. They'd have to fix the UI system. Well, they're telling me that this is the definitive version of Gears of War 1. Now, you could sit there and you can say they can't put wingman in the game because it wasn't in the original. Well, the grenades didn't blow people up in the original. There wasn't really King of the Hill in the original, unless you want to count the PC version. It was called Annex. You can tweak things and add things and just put a bit of care in the game. Okay, Wingman wasn't in the original, but it's a very, very highly loved game mode. And you're trying to sell it to the PlayStation players. You're trying to get them involved. They might play Wingman in Gears, Gears, I'm forgetting the name, Gears Reloaded. It should be called Gears fucking re-uploaded, copy-paste job. you know, but they could do these things, right? This is what I'm saying. Game developers can do this. What they're telling you is it's not worth the effort. Give us your money, it's not worth the effort. So sod it when people say it takes a lot of effort and it's not worth it because E-Day's coming out. Well, don't release the game then. If you don't want to make a decent product, don't release it. Don't take the piss and sell it. Give it everybody for free. 2 different shotguns, number 60. There was 2 different shotguns in a week and a different shotgun from the beta. People like to get adjusted in feel for a game. Whether you like the changes or not, or whether it's annoying or not, chopping and changing the entire gameplay fundamentally just as brand new players enter the game, and not really explaining the whys or any kind of big detail, just confuses people, and I just don't think it was a good maneuver. Number 61, there are still lots and lots of covers that are bugged from 2006, which just screams laziness. Number 62, if your sort of friend crashes, which has happened to me in a ranked game, you can't, unless it's round 1, nobody can get back in. You should be able to invite your friends into the competitive game if somebody's quit, or it should just let you reconnect if you want to scrap that and have a reconnect feature. Like if somebody leaves, you should be able to reconnect to the rank match. 63, for better or for worse, you can change the files of the game on PC. This was fairly common way back in the day. If you wanted to tweak your FOV in the original PC version, you would have to go into the config or do the tilde and bring up the console, and you could change your FOV or your settings or your wargame camera modes. But I don't like it because console players don't do it, so I don't change my FOV or stuff like that. And so either ban it, put some effort into ban people changing configs, or make it a feature, aka add a FOV slider. Pick one. Number 64, the vote skip feature on maps. It barely works. Half the time you can't skip the map. Why are we limited on the amount of skips? If we want to keep skipping it, if all of the lobby want to keep skipping the map and we're all collectively voting to skip, why can't we skip it? It should be Bullet Marsh comes up, 6 people have voted no. Mansion comes up, 6 people have voted no. Canals have come up. They'll say, oh, well, people will just vote no endlessly. Well, no, because then if people are doing that, that's what they want to do. It's player choice. So being able to just not vote as many times as you want, and also you can only skip just as the map loads, so most people aren't even paying attention. The vote skip feature just fucking sucks. Give us more maps to vote for or more skips. 65, you cannot launch a private lobby by yourself. This has massive implications for a whole variety of reasons that I'm sure you can figure out, but not being able to go in a private lobby on your own just is annoying. 66, the weapon slide. I personally, I think there should be a con to picking up the weapon. However, if you're going to keep in the weapon slide, then just make it a feature, because on PC and on just regular players, people find it difficult to do the weapon slide, depending on connection, depending on peripheral. Just make it a feature, like if you want to say hold X whilst picking up a weapon, you begin to slide and you can drive yourself to the piece of cover that you want. Make it a feature or just remove it. Controversial, but yeah. Number 67, the console version of the game gets the ability to not roll, the PC doesn't. Whether you want to talk about balance till you're blue in the face, it's a big difference. Now, whether that's intentional or not, it doesn't really make sense, and I've seen a lot of people moaning about it. Number 68, when somebody goes down, you have to wait a period of time to kill somebody because there's like this invincibility. This annoys the casual player because the guy goes down, they shoot them with the shotgun, they don't die, then they die, they don't understand it. It was kind of like this in the original, but the window here is large, and I have recorded clips, I'm not making this up, where a guy has taken 3 point blanks on the floor. I don't know why, but this whole wait a period of time to kill the guy doesn't feel great. Number 69, to be honest, there's too much listening to the 0.00001% of the population. Whether those hardcore gamers are going to play the game forever, that's not how the game is kept alive. Notice that even though there are all the hardcore sweats still playing the game feels dead. It's all about casuals, whether people understand that or not. It doesn't mean make the game casual. Help them, let them have fun, let them see that there's a way to have fun whilst being bad, and there's also this higher level of gameplay that they can reach. In Gears, the way the game works, it's kind of like if you can't kill somebody with your Lancer and shotgun, there's nothing else to do in the game. You can't fly a drone around and mark people. You can't put a claymore down, you know, and this goes on to a much larger topic. But what I'm trying to say is Gears of War, the only thing you can really do is kill somebody. And so if you suck at that, or there's no other avenues for you to have fun, you know, lack of interactive maps, etc., which is a whole video on my channel, then players just don't want to play because, yeah, they're not having much fun. Number 70, weapon balance. They've tweaked certain aspects of the balance, like boom shots, like grenades, like no active downs, but they've kept the same rifles and pistols, despite everybody being more accurate, less lag, different inputs, better inputs, more frames. Gamers have evolved, people have got better at the game, and they haven't touched them. Number 71, there's no free-for-all, or to rephrase, there's no real way to play the game alone. You know, as a solo player, it just kind of sucks. So, yeah, number 72, you can be playing a game and, quote, lose connection to the host. This happens quite regularly. Number 73, you can queue up for a match, go get a drink, go get a brew, and all of a sudden, for no reason, the matchmaking stops. This happens all the time to me. 74, the boom shot. This is something that I like. I like the fact that the boom shot, your very first boom shot, you have to impact the player. You have to pretty much directly hit them. And the second one is like the explosive rocket. I like that, personally. There's lots of features in this game that I like that people hate. Okay? This isn't about me. This is a community post. I'm just putting it out there. But the boom shot downs people all the time. And the feedback I get is getting downed off the first boom shot is way more annoying than being blown up. People would rather just be blown up by the boom shot and blow other people up. It's a rocket. I get a lot of complaints about that. Personally, I like the skill of the boom shot, but, you know, it's just a thing that I've noticed. 75, the execution bleed out is far too long. When was the last time you played execution and got back up? 76, the microphone just doesn't work half the time. Whether it's in mid-game, end-game, loading a game, the game's just finished, the microphone just doesn't work half the time. Whether it's push to talk or open mic, it just doesn't work. 77, you can't add or invite PlayStation players. I played with a couple of guys and I had a real good fun evening with them. We stayed together for like 20 games. He wanted to play with me, and he left the game to say, hey, I want to play with you, I'll invite you. The invite never arrived. I checked my recent players. I can't see PlayStation players on my recent players or anyone without a Microsoft account. And it felt like the whole point of Gears Reloaded was to get the community feel, to get the crossplay, to get the excitement. And yet I can't really play with any PlayStation players. Now, people will say, you know, you need to link your Microsoft account. There are plenty of games that force you, and it's annoying, to make an account. They do. They say, listen, if you want to play this game, you need an account. I did it for, I think, maybe it was Overwatch or not Overwatch, that new Overwatch style clone on Steam, the Marvel Rivals, right? Something like that. I had to, one of those types of games I had to make an account for. But if you're wanting to give the players the full experience, just say, hey, listen, if you want to play and invite and chat with PC and PlayStation players, which is really important for community, really important for inviting people, creating teams, sticking together, you need an account. Take 2 seconds here to make a Microsoft account and play the game. Instead, I couldn't find the guy, I didn't know his name, I can't play with him, I can't re-add him, and so he's just wandered off into the distance. Those are 2 people that I could have brought into the game and played with for a long period of time. I never know who they were, I never will know who they were, and I can't play with them ever again. Fantastic cross-play experience. 78. There's a page for annex stats. Why does this matter? What are you nitpicking about? because Annex isn't even in the game. It's not even in the multiplayer. How lazy? How lazy are we talking here? You have a full page for Annex stats that's not in the multiplayer. But there isn't one for, say, one shot, one kill. You can't see your KDA and say one shot, one kill, a game mode that loads of people play, but you can for Annex that no people play because it isn't in the game. Just laziness. I just thought I'd point it out. Number 79, the game's just too expensive. It could have had a free-to-play multiplayer with a cheap paid campaign. It could have just been entirely free. Could have had a shop. But the game was too expensive, hence that it's gone on sale 1 month in. Not a good look. Number 80, if you report people or, there are known cheaters, the anti-cheat doesn't seem to work. I think we might have covered that one. Number 81, I like the center screen shooting. I'm not going to get into the whole mechanics here because we could be talking forever. But corner peaks are becoming, or did become at the beginning, really, really obnoxious. People only abuse those kind of spots in game battles, MLG, or really, really sweaty competitive games. Now every modern gamer watches TikTok, tutorials, guides, and for example, it's not TC's fault this, but you pick up the sniper on canals, people just go and sit on the back bridge. That means they have full vision of mid-bridge and your bridge, and you cannot contest them because you cannot see their head. And that just means people are dying in the mid-bridge without being able to see. And I'm not saying stop corner shooting because, it's part of the game and it's kind of what makes the game magic in some ways. But they fixed backpacking, as in you can't shoot directly behind you, and headshot, and they've fixed other things. But really, really basic ones I think should just be taken out. Like when you get on the fuel depot truck, you just shouldn't be able to take cover and look through those vents for free. Give anyone with a brain cell like 1 hour and I'll tell you the most egregious spots, and just do what Gears 3 did and put a red X and be like, yeah, this doesn't work. Your bullets don't go through here. However you do it. Takes too much effort, takes too much time. I don't know, but just common complaints I see from people. Number 82, the spotting feature leaves a mark. It doesn't leave a mark. It wasn't in the original, so in execution people can just track you, which is brutal because if you get marked and you try to take cover to, say, back A somebody, they know exactly where you are and where you're moving. So it just becomes even more impossible to do a clutch, to make a play. It's a wall hack. The spotting feature should have been it pings you and drops a mark, like a 3D marker sort of on the floor of, hey, this is where we last saw the guy. But right now it's just a wall hack and it just tracks whatever side of the wall you're hugging and you just can't do anything. Number 83, let's be honest, is this TC's fault or not? The maps are literally not built for respawn game modes, which is okay, but then don't put them in the game mode, but put them in the game and sell it as a definitive edition because, look, nobody, casual or not, likes bad spawns. When you wipe a team on King of the Hill, pretty high chance that their entire team spawns on next and you lose the game. There are people spawning in front of you. There's only one spawn for team deathmatch, so people get stuck in spawn. People say, oh, well, they don't want to have to create a whole new respawn system for an old game, and we don't want to do that. It's a lot of effort. Well, you're putting King of the Hill in the game. You're saying to people, come and play King of the Hill. Come and play this game that we've built. And it's entirely right for players to say, this isn't very fun because I was in a game that was really, really tense. We wiped the enemy team and they won because they all teleported across the map and spawned. Or I was about to win and some guy spawned directly in front of me with spawn shield, which is not visible. I didn't know he had spawn shield. I wasted a torp bow on him. Basic things, right? Like, again, you could add another point that spawn protection isn't visible. You can waste bullets on people, snipe, boom, whatever. But if you're selling the game as, hey, this is the definitive version and there's King of the Hill, it's entirely right for people to moan about the spawns. Number 84, there are no events, not even an XP event. There's been nothing in the game, no update to keep players coming back or anything fun. There's nothing. Boom shot only, snipe only, boom shot snipes, like Halo snockets. Nope, nothing. 85, the game launched with achievements not tracking if you played in a group, meaning someone like me has got over the kills for seriously, but does not have seriously because he played most of the first few weeks in a group who was not the party leader, so your achievements didn't track. Annoying, because a lot of people only play the game once. They're not going to come back and do the campaign again or the multiplayer again because they missed the achievements. They'll just say, I'll forget it. Number 86, people want that if you're going to do skill-based matchmaking, they want your MMR to be visible. Number 87, honestly, headshots and guns in general, like the torque bow, constantly kill people when you miss, constantly stick people. Like the way you get stuck in this game, by the way, is not like the original. You can stick people in covers that weren't possible before. It just makes the game really weird. The reason I mention it is like, it's an arena shooter. You run, you win the gun, you pick up the gun, you fight with the gun, and when you get killed and it's just total bullshit, it's not fun. People don't want to play that in the modern days. You know, this isn't a battlefield with 1,000 tickets and you're fighting tanks and putting your body on the line, so you're not really analysing the kill or death too closely. The kills matter in an arena shooter. It would be like playing Quake and somebody railgunning your toe and it one-shot in your head. It would just be unfun. Number 88, I've seen loads of people want a grenade indicator. They're very, very buffed up now. They do really, really blow you up. And lots of people have just become kind of frustrated at dying to a grenade they literally cannot see visually. Either make the grenade more visually clear or add an indicator. Number 89, there's no solo queue mode. You know, you can't solo queue ranked. People will say, listen, mate, there isn't the player base for that. Yeah, there isn't the player base for the game because of years and years and decades of mismanagement and not understanding that it's kind of build it and they will come. If you build a good multiplayer system that's with a good ladder system that's strict, at the beginning there might be some friction. People might struggle with it, they might hate it, but eventually people will realize my games are close, the people I'm playing are similar skill, the maps are good, I'm going to carry on in this game mode. If you just make, quote, competitive like it is now, an absolute free-for-all with rank 1 players, guests, everything, then yeah, players are going to leave because they don't respect the ladder system. Build a ladder system that people respect, you get players, kind of like how Rainbow Six Siege has just kept getting bigger and bigger. So a solo queue mode would have been great, but you're forced to play stacks that stick together. Number 90, just the overall presentation and art style feels like UE. Everybody's told me, and I agree, it's not Gears 1. So just, yeah, throwing that out there. Number 91, just a lack of care for players' fun. I'm not saying that TC should take maps away or less maps, but King of the Hill Bullet Marsh, for example, just shouldn't exist. Just take it out the rotation, right? Or make it appear a lot less frequently, right? Or give people more and more votes so the lobby goes, hey, do you want to play Bullet Marsh? Let's keep voting until Bullet Marsh appears. Again, this just comes down to lack of really care or understanding what players want, whatever it is. But yeah, and again, lack of care falls into the whole, you know, there's 5 maps in execution that aren't even good. Just let us put all the maps in execution and let us vote. Give us a wheel of 4 choices, you know. Let players play the bloody game that they want to play, mate. You're like, here's what annoys me. They're limiting all of the things you can do in the game, but they're not even looking or taking care of the game. They're just limiting it and then handing it to you. If you're not going to look after the game or let players, you know, here's how, if you're taking anything away from this video, timestamp it, somebody in the comments, 44. TC, you're limiting a load of options for us. No lobby system, no vote system, no customized, whatever, right? That you're limiting the way we play the game, but then you're not taking care of the game by being active in it. If you're not going to take an active role in the game, do it like the original Gears 1. Just give us all of the tools and we'll figure it out. We'll host the private matches. We'll host the player matches. We'll host the 15-round mansion lobby. We'll host the 24/7 Raven down 19-2. But if you give us no tools, we're going to moan because I'm playing the same 5 goddamn maps in execution all the time. Fuel Depot I hate. It's like if there was more tools, we could have more fun. You would get less flack. So that's where I'm coming from here. Just give us all the maps in execution, give us unlimited votes, give us a wheel of 4, and let us play. Imagine how much better that game would have been. Obviously, all of this is too little too late now, but my God, they could have put me in the office and I'd come up with this, and anybody else could have come up with this with a bit of a brain cell. Number 92. Competitive, and most lobbies again feel like I'm playing the same mode, I'm playing the same character, I'm playing the same team. Again, you can't swap teams, you can't, Number 93, just do some basic effort and add new unlocks. Again, these are feedback from my community. I'm not saying I agree with everything, but these are things that I hear commonly. Number 93, do some basic effort and add some unlocks. Port some characters maybe, if you don't want to break the lore of Gears of War 1. So, for example, maybe a Judgment character, or a comic or novel character, or a Gears Tactics character. Just somebody. You could add it as a real reward or, whatever. Number 94, anything to make the game feel new and fresh, someone said. Just anything. It really feels like I'm literally playing UE. I can't find anything new. Number 95, I asked a TikToker. She was playing Gears 5. I can't think of a name. I think it was Kelly or something. I said, why aren't you on Gears 5? Why don't you play it? They just said, it feels really heavy and slow, and I just don't enjoy the game. And I think that just points to a total lack of in-game help, the tutorials, and how different the two games feel, and that goes to show, doesn't it, like where TC went wrong. You've got 2 products here that they both own and are both keeping alive. They're basically saying, if you don't like Gears Reloaded, go play Gears 5. If you don't like Gears 5 and the way we've managed it, go play Gears 1. But both products are dead and both products are not been managed, so they're kind of saying, go pick your poison. Number 96, the marketing for this game is like the boomer that joins on the trend 8 years too late. Remember when everybody was doing like music tracks and lo-fi, like Diablo? Like lo-fi Diablo beats to farm XP to, those kind of things. Reloaded tried it a little bit. They said Gears Reloaded lo-fi fire emoji. Not even like lo-fi Gears of War to Massacre Locust 2. There was nothing. It was just a video of the mansion fire, and it got 8K views. 8K views on the main channel. 97, and again I'm including that because it just feels all a little bit late to the party. Number 97, confirmed by a viewer and many videos, that it's still a bug where you rank up, get to rank 7. He said he played with the guy, got him to get the game. He ranked up to like rank 7. Next game he deranked, ranked up, deranked, and it just kept going. He said that was really not a good first impression. Number 98, here's a really funny one, guys. I've included this because I just found this hilarious. I tried it yesterday on stream. I could repeat this every single time. Now, remember the gas in Garden? You press the buttons and the gas turns off. The way you used to speed that up in Gears 1 was you would press the button, rev your chainsaw, press the button, rev your chainsaw, and you could basically get all 3 buttons pressed kind of instantly. It was like a sweaty GB tactic. I thought to myself, just randomly, I wonder if you can do that. When I did it, I had my Lancer out, and you can press the button shoot, and your gun kind of shoots in a weird way, and I was like, that's odd. Let me try the shotgun. The buttons turn back on. I press the button and melee at the same time. Your character gets stuck forever. You cannot move your character in any way. Literally, you cannot move. Why mention it? Because it's like, I knew that bug was going to happen. How crazy is that? A bug in 2006. They've kind of tried to fix it, I guess. But like, that's what I'm saying about how old and unchanged the game is, that I knew that this bug was going to exist. Like, I could have gone into the office and said, hey guys, by the way, I've never even looked at your product, but I know this is going to bug out. Let me try it. And yeah, you can do it every time. Get your shotgun out, guys. melee and press the button at the same time, you can't move. You're just stuck there forever, and your character, you're just spinning your camera around. And yeah, I just thought I'd put it in there because it was just funny. Number 99, somebody said, you can't remap your buttons. A lot of games I play on controller allow me to remap my buttons. It's a pretty fair take, isn't it? And number 100, which I'd totally forgotten about, and this was the best one. I thought I'd save this one till last. Please leave a like for the effort I've put into this video, and thank you for all of your submissions to the list. I hope this somewhat makes up for the lackluster list that was previously provided. No disrespect. I've spoke to Fatal Strike. He's a lovely fella, and I just thought I'd give my own spin on it. Number 100. Everything is censored. But you can talk about Hamas or other organizations, shall we say. They're not censored. But you talk about many words that are just normal words. You can't see anything. Half the chat is stars, and you can't even turn off the chat. So my window has just been filled up with stars, and I can't turn it off. But I'm playing an 18 rated game about chopping people up with a chainsaw, and yet everything's censored. And here's the funny thing that my friend showed me. The word GGZ is not censored. However, if you type no GGZ, it's censored. So the word no GGZ is censored. The word no is not censored. And the word GGZ is not censored. But no GGZ is censored. Why am I talking about this? Because clearly the censoring makes no sense just based off that little thing. It's like a baby society that we're not allowed to talk to each other. You know, we're grown-ups. If some guy wants to call me a fucking idiot and I want to read it, I'll read it. If I don't, I'll mute him, I'll block him, I'll ban the chat. But we can't do any of that. So there we go. 100 things that suck, could be changed, could have been tweaked, probably aided to the death of Gears Reloaded. I am probably now going to work on a montage. That might be my final video. I might do some streams. I might do the odd video here or there, maybe teach you how to use the keyboard and mouse or play a little bit better. I kind of want to do a basic tutorial, even though it's too little too late. Maybe it helps people out for E-Day, but I just thought there I would leave 100 things. So if you've enjoyed this, do leave a comment and a like. If you want to support me, genuinely, become a member on YouTube. It's the only way I make a dime. I don't get anything for adverts. I don't have Twitch subscribers. I've got like 2 Twitch subscribers, which I love, but I think you have to make like £100 to be paid. So all of this is just stuff I do for the love of the game and passion and fun, and I hope you appreciate it. Do leave a like and a comment. Let's get at least 100 likes. 100 things, 100 likes. Let's do it. Take it easy.